Bengals at the Steelers. This is a very interesting game because we might not have Ben Roethlisberger. He is dealing with a pectoral injury in this one. I have a bet that is made on this. And honestly, I don't really care whether Ben Roethlisberger plays or not. I feel pretty good about my position here. What we've also seen from this Steelers team is, I mentioned it, referenced it a little bit earlier in the pod, but Ben Roethlisberger, one of the worst graded quarterbacks through 2 weeks in the NFL. One of the absolute worst in completion completion percentage, big time throws, all these different things. Everything that you can basically be either good or bad at, he is right there at the top of the list. And now he's going to be dealing with a pectoral issue to go along with all of that. I took the Bengals from 4 up to 10. Put them in a teaser paired up with the Panthers on Thursday night. Maybe by the time people are watching this or listening to this, I've already lost this bet. Hopefully not. Hopefully the Panthers take care of business on Thursday night and win by at least 2 points. But listen, I don't care if it's Ben Roethlisberger. I don't care if it's Mason Rudolph. I don't care if it's Dwayne Haskins. I don't care really anything. I actually probably prefer it to be Ben Roethlisberger, for being honest. If this Steelers team can beat anybody by 11 points, then prove it to me. I'm willing to be proven wrong. And I think under the radar here, this Bengals defense has been sneaky good so far. I mean, they did go out and make a big acquisition in Trey Hendrickson, who has been really, really good for them. Number 7 overall defense DVOA through 2 weeks, and the Steelers pass offense is graded only above the Jets and Jags so far. That is how bad it has been. The rush offense, not any better. It's 30th overall. Najee Harris is only getting 3.2 yards per carry. Offensive line, 27th in pass block win rate, 31st in run block win rate. For me, it is just, it seems to me like if you can beat me by 11 points, Ben Roethlisberger with a bum arm and a bum pec and everything else, a horrible play calling and bad offensive line play, then so be it. Steven, you don't have a play on this one, but what do you think here about Bengals and Steelers? Right now, by the way, I should mention, by now, I should mention this thing is down to 3. It is no longer at 4. So it is down to 3 in favor of the Steelers.
I don't know if you heard that, but I'm going to play it again.
A square, Betty. Kid's a square.
I'm thinking about betting the Bengals here based on all these Steelers concerns, but I'm seeing every single person on social media wanting to back the Bengals now, including all these influencers in the sports betting world. Hey, you got to back the Bengals. The Steelers are banged up. Ben's got a pec injury. This feels like the public square underdog of the week, right? You know what I'm talking about? Like, are we falling for a trap here? Because the Bengals looked horrendous last week, Matt. Like, are you concerned that we're reading too much into the Steelers' quarterback concerns? Because I got to be honest with you, if Ben Roethlisberger's out of this game, I actually might want to bet the Steelers. I think they might actually be an upgrade.
I was going to say, it could be a slight upgrade. As far as the Bengals go, I mean, listen, I'm going to take that as an aberration as opposed to the norm. I mean, Joe Burrow was in that game at the time before he threw three consecutive throws for interceptions, had gone the longest streak in the NFL without throwing an interception. And so it was one of those deals where I'm going to take it as more of an aberration than the norm here. And so I actually think this offense is pretty good, despite the fact the offensive line is terrible. Like they're manufacturing ways for him to get out of his hands pretty quickly. He's got those massive weapons. And again, the defense is what I actually think is the key to this and keeping this thing relatively close, because the defense is playing really, really well against what I consider to be maybe a bottom 5 offense in all of the NFL. So Brad, I don't know. Do you think it's square to back the Bengals this week, or do you think the Steelers get it right and figure things out?
No, I would definitely be on your side. I think the Bengals are very interesting. Like we know they invested a lot in the defense with Hendrickson, DJ Reader up front, Larry Ogunjobi up front. So as you said, against that sort of 27th ranked offensive line, they should make hay. They should continue the kind of numbers they put up so far and beat up whoever is back there. Now, the other interesting thing to me was this Bengals offensive line, which has historically been the weakness. But some of the numbers so far this year suggest they've been better. So the Bengals as a team, 7th in pass block win rate. Both the left and the right tackle are in the top 20. So are they might have just made the leap. I don't know exactly what's happened there. I might have to check the PFF grades as well. But if they're improving there, the Bengals could be a very good team. The question again is Steelers defensive injuries. Like late last week, they suddenly scrapped Devin Bush. They scrapped Joe Hayden as well. TJ Watt also on the injury report. Like these guys are all worth monitoring because the Steelers defense didn't look good at all last week. The week before it looked electric when everyone was healthy, but they've lost a lot of players. Tyson Alawala, whatever his name is, he's on IR. So I'm going to need to see who plays because I'm not sold the Bengals offensive line is fixed. But if the Steelers are missing key defenders again, then I think the Bengals become very attractive.
Yeah, like it was night and day last week, like you said, night and day. As soon as TJ Watt left the field and they already without Bush and already it was night and day looking at that defense.
I liked Brad's attempt at Tyson's last name. I don't know who that about it.
You do it, Stephen.
Alu? Is that right?
I don't know, but like if you take 20 minutes to pronounce someone's last name like you just did, then it's probably like you're just like, I don't know, is it Alu? Like, come on, man. If it takes you that long to pronounce, I like Brad's pronunciation.
I'll just say this on this game. I have no interest in betting the number now. The number for me to bet the Bengals has already come down past where I would want to. I would say if this gets even lower, if somehow the public comes in and this, and this number somehow gets to 2.5, then that's when I would bet the Steelers. And for right now, if you do want to bet the Bengals, I would just rather bet them on the money line right now because of all the factors we just said potentially that working in their favor. I'd rather just take the shot and get the plus 160 money on the money line. So, but again, I don't have a play in this game, but that's kind of just how I see it in terms of value.